Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here from o'brienmagic.com, coming to you live from the Monday Night Jams in Orange County, California. This week we're going to talk about how to make money performing street magic. Alright everyone, so I'm here with my good friend Jack Murdock. He's going to be talking a little bit today about busking and how to make money doing street magic. So, I think the first thing that we want to talk about is how... or first of all, let's do this. What is busking, and can you give a little bit of background, maybe on like what you do, for example?
Busking is street performing. So magic, that's what we do. But it's all sorts. Busking can be, juggling, mime, anything. As long as it's some sort of performance. Busking comes from English term. That was basking, which is basking out in the sun, out in the streets, performing.
That's interesting.
It's an old classic way of saying it. So when people hear busking, they're kind of like, huh? Even I was like, what is that? It's like, oh, that's real street magic, actually making a living doing it. And I got into it because busking is like a passport to the world, as someone once told me. So.
Well, yeah, you went not too long ago, actually, like on a United States tour, like just 100% just doing that to make a living, right?
Just went and did it.
Yeah, so if you're asking any questions, this guy's a worker. He's legit. He actually does this for a living.
Still work in progress.
I dabble in busking a little bit here and there on the streets, but definitely you're the person to ask. So what would someone do that actually wants to maybe get started in learning how to perform professional street magic?
I suggest go hit the streets, try to find an actual busker, look up hot spots, any touristy areas, that's where performers will be. So find the most tourists. Look up online, of course. You could look into Cellini, Bobby Maverick. You've got, Cosmo, Gazzo. Those guys are people to look up to. And, really just kind of do a lot of research. It took a lot of time because it is kind of a hard thing to find and discover. For me, it was just, I had to just do a lot of research online, like what is street magic, like busking and street performing and making a living. And there's some sites and threads online. But really, it's one of those things, if you could find someone in person, just like with magic, it's a lot better. Because otherwise, it's going to be a longer path.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to building your routine or the things that you're going to perform while you're doing street magic, do you have any advice for someone, the kind of tricks that you like to perform, or the things maybe you might want to avoid performing while you're out on the street?
Really, you could do anything on the street. Do what you're comfortable with. That's how I started. I would just go out doing card tricks. It's very discouraging in the beginning. It's good to have maybe a friend, or if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. Just get out there with someone because you feel more comfortable. Alone, it's hard on yourself because you're out there, you're a guy on the street doing magic.
Of course,
trying to make a living. But do what you're comfortable doing. I don't think there's like a specific. There are certain tricks that may be better, and we all know that. But I started, doing close-up magic. So I was doing a lot of close-up magic, and even today in my shows, I'm doing close-up magic, but I'm projecting them to make it more of like a parlor show.
Yeah, so even if like a pick a card trick, for example, if you can make that trick play big.
Yeah, you start with something small and you build your way up, because you do kind of want to start on a close crowd. So you start doing close-up magic in the beginning in general, and then you start building up to bigger stuff and building the crowd.
Okay. Actually, you know what? That's a really good talking point too. How would you? What kind of advice can you give to someone that on like a hook or some way that you can grab someone's attention, reel them in, and then start building up that crowd? Because for me, that's the hardest part about it. Once I have an established crowd, like I could do magic all day, but getting someone there and keeping them and then growing the crowd bigger, what kind of things do you do to make that easier?
There's lots of different things. It's about just creating curiosity. But the three things in busking. The first is to make the people stop, right? And then you gotta make them like you. And the third one's make you pay you.
Yep.
There's a lot of work in between that.
Of course,
those are the three main things. So make them stop. You got to build some sort of curiosity and be confident. You could do little tricks, but really you don't really want to start doing magic in the beginning. You want to build the crowd first. So be yourself. Say hi. How are you doing? You come watch this. We're going to start in 2 minutes. Stand right there. You kind of demand what to do. There's going to be a magic show in 2 minutes, or we're going to start right now. And just be friendly and confident. That attracts people. You normally don't want to give them a yes or no question, like, you want to see a trick, or
You wanna ask them something that's gonna give you an actual response versus like a yes or no.
yeah.
Like hey, what's your name? Like, something like that. Get them talking to you. Maybe.
Honestly, if you just tell them what to do,
They'll do
the
it.
fun people, the people that want to be there and want to see magic, will do that. They'll be like, "How are you doing? Oh, great. Here, stand right there. We're about to start. It's really good. I'm really good at this stuff. I've seen it about 10,000 times."
Probably confidence has a lot to do with it.
You have these lines. Yeah, it's confidence, but it's, there's a lot of stock lines you could use to help. And I use them too. All those little lines. But just being yourself and being normal and being polite. You could do like a trick. I do stuff where I'm acting like I'm throwing something to someone. Like, here, catch. I could kind of get them involved, or you could do certain tricks to get people. Like, I've seen people do delights at night, or sponge balls, or
some kind of eye grabbing.
just flourishing. I've seen people do that.
Oh yeah, like don't you? I think you use the revolution. I think at one point in your act or something.
I
like
do.
that.
Reggie Wilson's Revolution. I love that thing. It's just fun. I use it kind of just as a throwaway. I don't really put any attention. I just play with it, and it gets their attention. But I try not to use any magic or any gimmicks yet until I start getting a crowd. So first, a classic one. I really like the idea of just throwing your rope down and making a loop going around.
All right, guys, this is Fatty Dabs. We're actually filming for the podcast.
What's up, beautiful people? I'm sorry to disturb you.
No, you're good. Thank you. We'll get back. We'll see you in a moment. Anyways, go ahead, Luke.
You can make you be creative. You could use, if in certain areas, if you can use chalk, you could be making out your stage. You could be drawing it out. Some people use rope to make an edge for the crowd. I don't use any. Some people use a water to mark out their edge with a water bottle, and like fire jugglers or fire swallowers. They'll use gasoline, but it's really water, but they pour it around them, and it's a great little thing to use.
That's really cool. So like establishing your audience, putting them where you kind of want them to be, maybe.
I try to use the streets really. Like if I see cracks in the street, I'll be like, here, stand on that crack. Everybody stand on the crack. Don't go in the law, or I'll just play like little games.
Yeah.
Because people just don't really know how to organize as a crowd. So you got to remind that you're creating a theater on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
That's really the hardest part. I mean, the most difficult part of street performing is building a crowd, and then getting them to organize a crowd, and then making them, stay, captivating them,
of course,
keep them going, and let them know what to expect.
That they're there to see an awesome performance, but at the same time, this is probably one of the things too that is most awkward for anyone that wants to start getting. How do you tell people, thank you for watching me, but you need to pay me? You know what I mean?
That's
like
where
how
it
do you
comes down to. So the hat lines.
Yes, the hat lines.
Oh, we got a little Pinky coming in.
Everyone, let's go ahead and say right over here. This is Pinky Count while we're doing the
Count.
podcast.
Oh, hi! I didn't know this was
Thomas.
happening.
Yeah, we'll plug this guy too.
Pinky Count.
Okay, so the hat line. How do you convince people to pay you during your show?
You gotta let people know what to expect. You gotta ask them for money in a genuine way, in a funny way. Funny as money. So there's lots of little lines you can say in between them, but just being yourself. One of my lines I say, I appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot to me. If you guys did enjoy this show, please let me know and put money in the hat. You could be very direct. You could say it in a poem. I've known guys that say like a poem, or they do it as a joke. But I think it's important to establish that throughout your act, and especially at the end of the act if you want them to pay. But if they don't know that, then someone will walk away, or like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to pay for this guy, so I'm gonna get out of here. So if you let them know in the beginning that this is what I do, this is how I make a living. Nobody pays me to be here except for you guys. I know, I was pretty pissed when I found that out.
Yeah,
those lines. So you do have to let them know, and you got to kind of tell them what you want from them, what type of money you want from them. If you don't tell them, they're going to give you change, they're going to give you $1. And so if you at least say, I think my show is at least worth a cup of coffee, which is what, $5-6 nowadays? Because people go every morning to Starbucks, pay $5 for coffee, but they won't mind. They won't pay $5 to see a great show, or just magic, something they don't even see every day.
Exactly.
So you got to remind them that, and they're like, and this is a show where you decide how much it's worth. Not like a movie when you can't get your $12-15 back. What if it's a bad, crappy movie?
Exactly.
So in busking, it is tough. You know, you really got to do a lot of shows, and you know, I'm still learning and practicing as much as I can, and traveling. You know, I think that's the important thing. Don't get used to being in one spot, because one day you're gonna go there's gonna be another guy in your spot, and you're like, oh no, what do I do? Like, well, then you move to another place.
Yep.
So
I think it keeps it fresh too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when you're first starting out, find something that is enough inside your comfort zone that you are able to start performing, but don't get comfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
and
don't
really
stay in that comfort zone. You want to kind of expand and branch out and start.
Yeah, and this is a lot of information. Really, the best thing to do is just go out there, bring your table, or not a table, sit up there, bring a hat if you want. Maybe don't do it for money in the beginning, just get used to performing. But get used to doing an actual show, maybe whether it's 5, 10 minutes or 20 minutes. You know, a street act could be 5 minutes up to an hour. You never know. And you can do it anywhere. That's the best thing about it. But just get out there is the most important thing. I mean, for me, I know I've learned about just going out, just experiencing, and you know, meeting people, and just trial and error.
Yeah,
like anything else.
That's true. So, any last minute words for anyone that is interested in actually getting out there
I definitely encourage you guys to really go out there and, you know, practice your material at home, everything you want to say and do, and then when you're comfortable with it, practice with your friends, you know, yada yada yada. Then get out the streets, make a little setup, stay there for a couple hours. Try to do at least 3 shows at least.
Don't get discouraged if people don't stop because they're not going to at first.
You're gonna get rejected. It's okay. Get used to that. It's life. And just say hi to people. Don't feel bad or feel weird, because you're gonna get weird feelings when people are rejecting you or not even looking at you and be like, oh no. Like, oh,
yeah.
Pushing around their baby and like, I'm staying away from that. Because the bad thing for us is we're associated with street people. So that's another job that we gotta remind them that we're not here panhandling. We're we're putting on a service, performing for these people. We're not begging. We're earning our money.
Exactly.
So that's another big point you got to remember to tell the people, because people, when they see another street guy, there's a homeless man, there's a magician or a musician or a juggler, they're like, oh, they just think they're the same.
It's all one thing.
It's not. And sometimes that you can take the advantage, because then they see you and they're like, oh, whoa, this guy's really good. I had no idea. So you kind of catch them off guard. But either way, it's all about the experience and doing as many shows as you can on the streets. I definitely agree on that. If you want to follow me and check out my stuff, any social media you've got, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Magic of Murdock. I'm Jack Murdock. And my company, right here, Slightly Smoking.
There you go. Yeah, this guy's got some legit,
SlightlySmoking.com, like sleight of hand.
Shirts and accessories.
I do the art and designs there.
Really
working
good
on
stuff.
some new companies.
And you know what? Interact with this guy. Jack, is a really nice guy. And if you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to contact him. He's definitely going to help you out. If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to contact me and ask. I'm more than happy to help out. Stay tuned for some future episodes. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about street magic specifically, things that you can do to keep spectators from walking out during your show, things like this. But I think this is definitely a good starting point for anyone that's interested in learning how to do street magic professionally and make a living, or at the very least making a little extra money on the side. But yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for being here today, and it really means a lot. If you like this video and you want to see more, please don't forget to like, share with your friends. Comment below if you have any suggestions for anyone that wants to get into street magic. And as always, everyone, thank you so much and keep practicing.